Hey everyone, Ryan here, and I just want to take a moment to talk your own podcast. I was a newbie, and still am, and know how intimidating it could be to start your own show. It's because of this, no matter all the other options out there, that I chose Anchor. So Anchor hosts your podcast, distributes your episodes to all the big hitters such as Spotify, Apple, and Google, and it even has recording tools to make a show on the spot without any additional software, and that's pretty sick. Not only that, but it gives you a nice little podcast website too, if you don't have one. Not to mention that there are opportunities to make money no matter the size of your audience. Sounds awesome and easy, right? It is. See for yourself. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, now let's get back to chatting about games, huh? Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Couch Cat Podcast. I'm your host Ryan. Today I have Trung and Alan in the co-host chairs. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hello, everybody. I am basically part of the team now with how many times I've shown up to these podcasts.
That's true, but don't get comfortable, okay? I know you sit in the studio and Alan doesn't, but I still want you on your toes, you know?
I'm just saying I'm not really much of a guest if I'm in there almost every single freaking episode.
Ooh,
No,
Trunk is getting cocky
I did
now.
say co-host. Yo, man, I just said co-host chair. You want to fight?
Yes, let's do it right now, live.
Dude, there's barely any room in here. This sucks. But anyway, so Alan and Trung are with me today, and we're going to be talking about Stein World, a browser-based MMORPG. It's kind of like our flavor of the month right now. But before we get into that, of course, it's story
Oh
time.
boy.
But before we get into story time,
Oh boy.
yeah, I know, right? I have to announce something. It's Trung's birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Trung.
birthday.
Woo! Thank you.
Whoop whoop. Podcast on your birthday, man. Is that like your first time ever?
I mean, yeah, I don't normally do podcasts.
Man, that's nuts. Like, what a time to be alive for you. Especially you're on our podcast. But yeah, happy birthday, Trung. For those of you who don't know, Trung is a longtime friend of mine, probably one of the oldest friendships I have left, without burning bridges. He's also named in the Discord as Edits with Keyblade, but he's like the main editor for me, no one else, for the Phasmophobia videos on YouTube, which at the time of this recording, one went live today. It's funny. It's 5 minutes. It's short and sweet. Go check it out. But yeah, it's cool that you're here on your birthday, and glad we can celebrate it as a crew.
Oh yeah, feels great. Something to do. I don't normally celebrate it at all, so
cool, right? But yeah, so story time. I'm gonna go first because no one wants to hear Alan's stories. Alan never has stories.
that's really rude. But all right.
And Trung, you can follow. But yeah, so get this. It's a short and sweet one, just like the YouTube videos over at Couch Cat Gaming on YouTube. But okay, so I have a Ninja Pro coffee machine, and I just want to tell you this fucking like mistake I did. It was critical. Like I loaded up. I was doing a half craft. Okay, so that's like 4 to 5 scoops of coffee grounds, and the filter didn't fully seat. So it's a drip machine. So you like put in and then you close it, right? And it didn't fully seat. So like I dropped it in and I went to slam it shut, and it the lip like caught on top of the machine, and the fucking thing shot out. And dude, all you could see were like these little, the little black grounds of coffee all over the kitchen floor. Like it just it exploded on me, and I just stood there so mad. I just lost half a carafe of coffee, and it took like 20 minutes to vacuum. It was pretty bad. But that's my story. It's kind of like the biggest fail so far recently. And I just wanted to get that off my chest because I've been losing sleep over it. Staring out the window, like absentmindedly, just wondering if anyone has gone through that. But yeah, I feel better now. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Amazing.
Do you have anything to share, Trung?
My sister bought me a Kingdom Hearts hoodie, and it's pretty cool. Ooh. I like it.
Ooh, does it have like keyblades on the back?
No, I don't think it's that fancy. It's just original Kingdom Hearts 1 art on the shirt or a hoodie.
So like the art box, like the case.
Yeah, like with Mickey and the 3 main cast. Yeah, Donald and Goofy.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Might have to get a picture of that later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Over at our OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. We don't have that. But all right, cool. And then Alan, I said you don't ever have stories, but do you have a story?
No.
But there you go.
Why are you so averse to telling stories, man? Okay, whatever. Yeah, whatever. No one wants to hear them. We already did a poll on this. So originally, as I stated earlier, we're here to talk about Stein World. Yeah, Stein World. We've been playing it quite a bit. I'd say like over 2 weeks or so. Yeah, 2 weeks. I think right on the dot. Haven't made much progress. Well, Trung has, but Alan and I haven't. It's a very fun game for what's there. But before we get too deep into it, I'm just going to read the description of the game from the website. So Stein World is a new, as advertised, free-to-play, real-time browser-based MMO with many common features of an MMO multiplayer genre. So it's claiming to have a persistent and diverse 2D pixel fantasy world, hundreds of quests and cool items, dungeons, crafting, server rankings, and much more to come because it is early access. Like I said, it's browser based. It's also on Android for mobile users. And no shit, I just found this out while researching for this podcast. It's on Steam for some reason. So it's there. It does not have the early access tag on Steam. But it does say that's an early development on the actual website of the game. Yeah, it definitely is early access. I don't know why. I mean, there's different reasons why games go in. Yeah. So it's a free to play game. Like you're not losing out on anything really. And I think you'd save more time just playing directly to the website anyway, instead of having to like go through Steam, download through Steam and whatnot. Absolutely. Like that makes no sense. It's literally like I told Trung and Alan this. Right off the bat, it gives me RuneScape Classic vibes, and it almost looks a little like Stardew. That's really what the 2D pixel art, at least in my mind, that's what forms. It looks like Stardew, just not as cute, more muted. If that's like more grays and whatever.
It's more of an MMO.
Yeah, yeah. When I say Stardew, I just mean like it looks like it's very similar art, like how the characters are designed.
Yeah.
Like the 2D panel. Yeah. And that's how like the camera moves. Like when you move, like you're kind of looking down on your guy, like at like an angle. But yeah, so that's what we've been playing. We've been playing it alongside, Elder Scrolls Online. We've been playing alongside Phasmo. And yeah, so let's get into it. We're going to start off with general gameplay. And so I know, Trung, you 100% agree with this. I mean, you even said it in game, but right off the bat, like you go to the website, you create your account, you create your character, hence RuneScape, and you're in. And of course, it's got you starting in a inn or a resort, or now resort, but like an inn. And one of the first quests you get is to go into a freaking basement and kill rats, right?
Well, the first one was you like had to get clothes because you were completely butt naked.
Yeah, but I mean that's an optional, dude. You don't need clothes.
I guess not.
Just run around naked fighting rats.
As you learn in Valheim. Yeah, but eventually you get there, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like I felt like I've done this before, But yeah, so Trung, can you kind of describe like the initial first couple of minutes in the game? Like you're just like in that inn, surrounded by all these quests.
I mean, it starts off like any other game would. You've forgotten why you're there. You're starting off as a newbie. You just talk to whatever NPC has a question mark or exclamation mark in this case above their head. Pick up quests. Kill rats because rats are the weakest form of enemies in like every game. You beat them up with a stick. And
which is like the universal beginner weapon.
yeah, you always beat something up with a stick. It's either a rat or like a slime. It's always the universal weakest monster.
Yeah, or Alan.
There you go. There
and
you
then
go.
and then you get introduced to the beginner zone, and then he kind of just drops you off there. It doesn't really tell you what's really going on afterwards.
Yeah, like the whole point of the game is like you got drunk and you lost your Stein, which if people don't know is like, isn't it like German for like a container that holds beer basically? Um,
Yeah.
but it's only fancy cup. It's thank you, Jörg. Uh, yeah, it's only like mentioned in like the first few minutes of the game. I think. I mean, we obviously haven't progressed far enough into the game to talk about end game. Um, but yeah, like that's the whole
There
concept
is no
of
end
it.
game.
Well, yeah, right now at least. But the whole concept is you're supposed to find your Stein so initially.
Yeah. And that's quickly forgotten about, at least for me.
Oh yeah,
Like I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. That's a good way to start things. And then you're in this inn and everyone's got a quest for you. And
yeah,
you're kind of just doing them to do them. They're very
yeah,
easy. Like it's a lot of them are just like fetch quests, right? Go bring this to
yeah,
X or go do this for Y.
yeah,
And then you're then you're kind of like thrust out, like you go outside the inn and you're like, where do I go from here? And it's just like whoever you talk to first, pretty
yep,
much. And the whole town, like almost everyone has a quest for you.
yeah,
And some of them are locked behind level, obviously, like per progression, but for the most part, you can kind of just like start hopping NPC to NPC and get shit done. Um, but it does and still does feel pretty directionless. There's some quests so far we've encountered. I'll say that for questing though, that make you actually feel like you're doing a story. But
I mean,
I mean, for the most part,
a lot of it just feels like, hey,
oh, I was just,
do these
oh, you
quests,
bastard.
do these quests, and okay, now go talk to this person to do more quests. It's just like, and then if you skip around, you're just like, well, I've already talked to this person, so I'm already done here. So, yeah, so it's definitely pretty directionless. The world's your oyster. You get to do what you want with it.
Yeah, but that's, I want to say it's not advertised as like a sandbox game though.
Yeah,
Like it's definitely not one of those like MMO, the world, your choices matter, this and that. You can do whatever the heck you want. It's not like Albion
yeah,
Online or
yeah,
anything where you can choose what you do based off like how you want to spend your time, as a merchant or PvP or whatever PK or I mean, but like no, it's advertised like I said, like hundreds of quests X, Y, and Z. It's just the quest tracking or like the quest progression ladder is just not there yet. Um, but while you're running around figuring out who the hell to talk to next, which is pretty much anyone who breathes or moves in the game, you run into combat like you do it with the rats early on, but then you start fighting other things like crabs and boars and stuff. And there's actually like the combat's actually it's got some layers to it, right, Trung? Like I mean, you're figuring out some quirks with it, like with the switching of the weapons and stuff like that. Like you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, like so the weapon system in this game is interesting. Um, there's different types of weapons like this, either casting, bow, or standard swords. But the really weird mechanic of this game is that you can switch weapons to ignore the weapon cast time. Like each weapon has its own like cooldown. Usually it's like 1.8 seconds to 3 seconds. So within that downtime, you can actually switch to another weapon to attack. So that you're just in a constant cycle of attacking. You bleed through your energy faster this way, but it also increases your damage output by like double or triple the amount because you're never stopping to attack. Or never stop attacking, sorry.
Yeah, and like the placement when you attack is janky
oh
too.
yeah,
Like you can avoid well, one, you can completely avoid what you're attacking by just like clicking and not paying attention to like what direction you're facing with the like WASD.
Yeah.
But you can also avoid damage. Like Trung showed us in game about like attacking and stepping in, like on top of the monster and stepping through essentially, and they miss. And like you can have um like you can upkeep damage throughout a whole like encounter by moving and grooving like this. It's I don't know. It requires a lot of finger dexterity. I feel like so. I just kind of like sit there and let it fucking just smack me in the face, whatever it is.
Yeah, like
And I'm set with Trung like tanking.
yeah,
You know.
like in the beginning, I tried walking through the monsters, and I realized that they only hit in a square, and they have a specific attack speed too. So as long as you can attack and then anticipate their next attack, you can actually just duck inside and make a miss altogether.
Yeah, pretty much how you interact or how you do combat and move in this game. Imagine if you played Stardew or like a simulation game like Stardew where you have that uh the block radius around you to determine like where you put your seeds, where you're watering your plants, stuff like that, like your little area of influence. Um, that's pretty much how this game works, and it can be real janky at times. Well, mainly almost all the time, I think. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy, how in depth the combat, comes off or comes out to be when you actually play the game. And then also, there's like, um, there's a lot of like moving parts in the game where things are moving against you. Trunk, you mentioned like you're the first one to notice this. Like, you can't just hold on to your gear forever. Like, you need better stuff.
Yeah, so the game caps you in a way, and it encourages you to get better weapons because once you're above like 4 levels of your weapon, so if you're level 10, you're wearing level 6 gear, that level 6 weapon starts losing accuracy. Like its hit rate becomes 95%. And then once you get another level, that hit rate becomes 90%. You lose 5% for every level you're ahead of it, which is strange. But it encourages you to keep upgrading your gear, I guess.
Yep, which
It's
is
not hard to do.
a pain to do.
What?
It's not hard to do, but you have to grind the levels in order to do it, right?
Just fight monsters and gear will drop pretty easily.
Yeah. Well,
Especially if you're
so
in
that's
a
so
party.
that's what we want to talk about the most, like when it comes to crafting, is that you know crafting, the gear you make outweighs the drops,
Oh,
like
absolutely.
especially with like all the trash drops you get.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like I just now got some blue drops, and blue, there's a hierarchy with the colors. There's green to blue to, I don't even know. I haven't seen anything past blue, but um I just now got those. But yeah, like it ties into crafting pretty much, where it's like you can start off early. It's one of those games where um you don't you don't accept like a certain like a class or subclass or what or specialty. You're open to do it all, and level it as you go, whether that's gathering, chopping down trees, mining ore deposits, killing monsters and turning their leather into a resource to be used for upgrades, etc. um, the crafting is pretty robust. It's done through a book system, so you buy a book to learn like a recipe, and you level your crafting through the rudimentary stuff, like I said, gathering, etc., to level up in order to make that item with the mats or materials that you gather. So, uh, I don't know, Trunk, have you made anything like good yet? I think you're the farthest one in crafting
Um,
than all of us.
pretty much every single crafted piece of gear doubles the amount of attack that any dropped item would, even from like the dungeon perspective, which is strange. So like, why would you do dungeons when you could just craft the best gear? You know?
Right, and you gave Alan and I weapons. Like we were fortunate enough to get those from you, because yeah, nothing and nothing, uh, nothing better dropped. or has dropped since in the weapon realm. And now, like we talked about, there's that cap, about like accuracy, and now we're all fucking feeling it.
Yeah.
Like, um, just because it's not our level, and now we're going to have to. I think we're going to have to bite the bullet and just accept a weapon that's at our level with low damage. Um, but yeah, I will say crafting's there. Um, there's a lot to do with it. I think it's probably the one system in this game that's got a lot of meat to it. And can keep you interested to see like how far you can go until you go to like a wiki and see like, oh wait, there's nothing beyond this like level recipe. But yeah, it's cool. It's there. So dungeons are next, and like I mean, it kind of ties into like the questing. Like a lot of the quests feel mundane and like you don't need to do them. They're easy exp, but they're kind of like not really rewarding in like item wise, like just probably HP potion wise. But there's one quest that I don't even know how I got. I'm just blindly following Trung at this stage, and you get your first like dungeon quest. Um, and there's like there's like a mini challenge to it. Trung, it's wave clearing, right? Like that's what it was, like 20 waves.
Yeah.
I think.
You just gotta do 20 waves or just go as far as you can.
Yeah, and it slapped us at 20, like that like spider girl woman boss thing.
Yeah, it's pretty hard, even as a tank.
Yeah, Alan hasn't experienced it yet, so we're gonna have to go back in there. But yeah, it will. But yeah, so dungeons are there. We've only done like it's 10. It's 4 level 10s, I think. Right, that's what that dungeon's aiming for.
I think it's 5 instead of 4.
Is it?
Yeah,
dude, I'm like level 10. We just did.
No, I'm saying 1. It says 1 to 5 players of level 10 or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. I meant like level.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Who's it's intended for?
Yeah.
You won't see this dungeon until you get this quest randomly. But
So does it scale with the amount of people there in the dungeon, or just like the more the better?
Don't know.
I have
think
no
it's
idea.
more the better.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing. There's nothing mentioned about it. At least like on the surface to quickly read about. But yeah. And to tie with dungeons, like you want to go in there. You don't really have to go in there too prepared for the beginner one, but there are. It's like this. It's like crafting. Like you're not picking a specialty and being stuck with it. So like this game, there's quote unquote classes, but it's really tied to what weapon you pick,
and also what armor you wear.
And what armor you wear, right? Like the certain bonuses, because there are wands in this game that allow you to do magic. There's like right now, I think most of us, not Alan yet, but we all have like a healing wand.
What?
But yeah, there's axes, swords,
you guys have
bows.
healing wands?
Oh, you didn't know that, Alan?
Holy crap!
Oh shit! Oh,
you can create healing weapons too.
Yeah, I mean, you're so busy over there, like kissing crabs and shit. But yeah, so there's quote unquote classes, and you can see people in all chat always talking about like, are you a mage? Are you a mage? Are you this? Are you that? Are you a tank? But there's nothing really that you select and it says you're this class. There's your bonus attributes for this class. There's no attribute points to allocate. There's no skill points to allocate. You're just kind of like Trung said, like your armor determines really, your bonuses, and your like stamina or, magicka. I say that like it's ESO, but like your magicka.
It's just called mana here.
Yeah, it's just mana. Manasoria. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so there are roles, and you can see later on. I'm assuming like in the level 20 zone, because there is a level 20 zone, and it's super spooky. And Trung went there, and all I could hear him was saying, "Oh no, no more." So I didn't go. I was real comfortable in town, but yeah, you can see them asking specifically for types of people or types of classes. So nothing hard on that. Nothing really satisfying about that. I don't like those kind of games where, okay, I do like how you can shape your own character with like what you wear and what you use to determine who you are, but I want like association with that, in hard riding association with that class. Like, oh, you've hit level, 10 in light armor, like you can now be considered, or like a level 10 in swordsmanship, you can be considered a warrior or something, like I want something tied to that, to my progress, not just like I wear light armor and I have 2 daggers. You can call me a rogue, baby, like whatever. But that's moving on to like the social aspect of this game, and that's what we always look for, especially coming from games like Simple MMO and other browser-based games we've tried, like Man Astoria and Eidolon. Even though Eidolon's like, most of those games are like Discord centric when it comes to socializing, but there is a party system. Guys, there's no guilds, right? Like I didn't notice a single.
No, they
guild,
said there'll
like,
be guilds down the line, but not right now.
right. So there's no guild. It's probably like a Discord thing. Like, come join our Discord, come join the Couch Cat gaming Discord and be a part of this new movement. Anyway, and I haven't noticed a world event. I think they're mainly like in-game shop stuff, like get sales on in-game currency drops and shit like that. But I haven't, we might have missed it, but I haven't noticed any. Oh, okay, I'll even limit it that and give them the benefit of doubt that there are world events, but I'm saying like map events, like relating to ESO, a boss, or like even simple, like a world boss spawning or like a regional boss spawning. That's not really a lot of that going on, is there? It's mainly just the quests and dungeons, right?
Yeah, like what you see is what you get pretty much in that game.
Yeah.
Right. And the map's huge in this game. So there's no way like it all exists because it's, quote unquote early access, but there's a lot that can be done with the space they're advertising, at least with the M key. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer. Like the party system works. You get EXP as long as you hit well, actually you don't even have to hit the monsters to get EXP, but you do have to hit the monsters to get credit for your quest, which is kind of like a bummer.
I mean, it makes sense though.
What
like
else?
you don't want to have like a
Dude,
higher
I
level
wanna
just
get
freaking blaze through all
I
your
do.
quests. Like,
I did.
how are you supposed to
I
enjoy the
did.
game
I
that
did.
way?
Trunk. That's what Trunk does for me now. There's no difference.
It's almost the same.
I do like that you could like share gear drops. Like, hey, this crab that you killed is
Need or
dropping, shoulder pads or whatever, and you could like click need or greed. Need being like, I need this, give me this item, or greed being, let's throw it in the pot, see who gets it, and one of us would get it. So I like that.
Yeah, standard MMO stuff like World of Warcraft and but that's another weird thing. It's like you can't get credit for like quest kills if you're not attacking, like if you don't touch the monster. But Alan can be bumfuck in Canada, and we're in Florida, and he's getting, he's winning drops
nice.
like helmets and shit.
Got some
It's
good
bullshit.
gear going on.
It doesn't make any sense. At least like region lock it. Like at least have us in like the same like part, like in the same farm, killing the same stupid boars.
Yeah, like however many tiles out.
Yeah, but it is nice, specifically for Alan, because he's lacking in the gear department. So like Trung and I are like doing, our level quests, like level 10 up, and Alan's like, wow, I'm getting all this stuff by being homeless under a bridge.
Just attacking crabs.
Just attacking crabs. It works out for you. But yeah. So not really much there for the social. All chat is pretty toxic. It's so bad. Like that's so I've seen a lot of dumb stuff on there, and I was like, is this like Xbox Live in the glory days?
Yeah, I'm sure it's just a bunch of kids running around playing the game, talking smack.
Yeah. It's, I mean, like, I don't even know how you feel good playing this game on the top. Like, Trug and I saw some people with like pay to wear costumes, and they're like high level. I think they're like mid-level cap, right? Trung like level 30 or something.
I don't know if they are, but they were
And-
definitely flexing in the chat for some reason.
Yeah, they were flexing it, and it's like, what's the point, dude? Like, no one even knows these games exist. Like,
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, so that's kind of like the general, like, like Trung said earlier, what you see is what you get about this game, about Stein World. Um, it's gonna probably hide behind like being in development for a bit, but I don't know. It looks promising. Like there was an update. It's got an update log that is full of progress in it, so it's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a team of them that are doing it. They post on Twitter and everything, so it's not like it's a dead game as an experiment or something. Like they're keeping with it, which is nice. So it has potential.
Yeah, for sure. And it's easy to just drop in and play like RuneScape Classic was, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we have Orange Man in on it. Pretty much everyone we know dropped in and gave it a shot. Brandon tried it, I think,
yeah, he
right?
did.
Did he try it? Yeah. Ortiz tried it. And then obviously we were playing it too. And then we had burnt potato in there for like a day or two as well. And Jurg, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, so that's pretty much the general gameplay. I kind of want to get into like general impressions of it. What you know, like what you're going to really expect or how it's really going to feel when you play this game. I will start off by saying like you're not going to lose anything. Like you're just going to create an account, you're going to jump in, and if you like it, you like it. It's very relaxing. It's got like the same, it's got the same soundtrack loop pretty much. Like it's not a robust soundtrack, is what I meant. But it's very Stardewy. It's very Stardewy, especially like if you're at your farm chilling. Like that's like the kind of music that's playing. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna just hit it real quick. For me, at least, the lack of quest tracking sucks. Uh, a day will go by, and then Trung and I will hop on, waiting for Alan to get on or something, and or someone, and I won't even remember like where I got one quest, and it doesn't show you. It doesn't indicate on the map where the quest originated from. It also doesn't indicate where you need to go for the quest, which you can live with because everything's named. The map is pretty informative when it comes to that. And the quests tell you like, oh, this family at this farm, right? But there's no like in the quest log, it doesn't show you like who the hell gave you this quest or where they're located at.
Yeah, that's pretty
So
frustrating.
that's kind of like, yeah, it's just joining. It's like, oh, I don't like. I told Trung, I was like, I don't even know where I got this quest for board poop. I'm not going back.
Yeah,
I'm just not. I'm not turning around and going back to town for this shit. Um, Traveling sucks, just like Valheim. just it's bad. You can see a game, like Stardew, you get like a horse and shit. So, this game will definitely probably have mounts in the future. And the map is massive. If it's truly this massive, um, I don't think it'll be a problem for long. Hopefully, it's not locked behind in-game currency shit. The art's cool. Like I said, it's very Stardewy. Not as like poppy with colors and shit. But it is pretty pleasant for a pixel game. Alan, I know when we talked about pixel starships, you're all into that.
yeah,
What do you think about? You like it?
yeah. I think it's pretty good for art. Like it's nice because there a lot of these browser games are very limited in what they have, except for Simple MMO, obviously, who like pumps out 300 pieces of gear every update, which is impressive. But um,
The bastard.
yeah, um, but yeah, this one has like a lot of different uh, artwork to it, or like NPCs or mobs, and it's clearly not like a copy paste,
Yeah,
which is nice.
it's not like Skyrim.
Yeah,
It's not, where every NPC is the fucking same. Yeah, I will say these like low resource like resourced games, they really don't skimp on the art. Even Eidolon, they use like the white blob of a character, but the maps themselves are detailed, right?
yeah,
Um, so are like the menus, like the UI. Stein World's lacking in the UI department. It's just kind of like that bland brown, window, whatever. But yeah, it's not a rough game to look at. And it's also a very laid back game, kind of tying in with like the art and the soundtrack. Uh, Trung, you on multiple occasions are always like, I'm so chill right now.
Yeah, the game is very chill.
Yeah, and like you're like messaging me. You're like, is it wrong that I just want to play this and relax?
It's a fun game to play by yourself. You're just like looking for something to do.
True. Yeah, there's kind of like I wouldn't say as deep as Valheim, but there is exploration in the game. Um, the world is explorable, like I said. S- the level 20 zone is kind of like off limits for us, but the town has various farms to explore. There are caves that they're not dungeons, but they're like soft. They're like entry level dungeons that are just not labeled as them. There's also like weird paths you can take, like through like an abandoned house that spits you out into a mine, that spits you out into a fucking like another area of the map. Like uh you can find some cool stuff in the beginner town of this game. And like Alan was saying, like the art looks good and there's different set pieces. Nothing looks copy and pasted. And let's see. Oh, my biggest gripe, and I'm sure you guys will agree with me, but the inventory management sucks. It's like early on, quests will reward you with like they're like pockets or whatever. So like it increases like an additional tile or slot in your backpack because you have your toolbar and then you have your backpack. And it's one of those games where, if you want to do all your crafting, like you don't want to be limited to just like wood cutting, you want to do like mining, gathering, and leatherworking. You need tools, just like in Valheim. You need tools or any survival game for every single action that you want to take. And that shit takes your whole hotbar. And then you have your backpack. And then you have your friends slaying bodies. And you're constantly getting hit up with like need or greed unless you X out the item completely. And before you know it, your backpack's full in like 5 minutes. And like Alan, you don't even have to leave town to be full on your inventory
Yeah,
if you just leave Trung and I to because we were feeding you items. Like we weren't even taking
yeah,
anything. We were just exiting out and you got it all automatically. So the inventory management sucks. I don't like it.
Yeah, and
But
you
yeah.
can't get to the bank until you get to the level 21 zone, which is
That's nuts.
impossible for us.
It's so crazy. It's almost as like mind blowing as like when we play or played, Pixel Starships and shit, like, oh, you want a guild? Like, even Manasoria, you want a guild? Well, you have to have in-game currency that you either buy or earn slowly, which will take like a year off your life to get. It's like, why is that even in the game? So when Trung told me there's a level cap on the bank, I was like, what the are you just trying to weed out the quitters?
I mean,
That's nuts.
the other way to get more inventory space is to pay them money, but
Oh my god, the funnel effect. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've already said enough about it, but Alan, I know you want to hit on some things that have, you've noticed and have felt deep in your heart.
yeah. Sure, something like that. I would say the servers, and to be fair, it is a smaller game, so like don't expect like AAA servers, even though AAA servers suck too. But servers can be kind of iffy at some points, and you could rubber band a bit. I'm not the only one, so like there's a few other people who've had that happen. It might just be because they're U.S.
Yeah,
servers.
Orange
Yeah,
Man.
Orange Man's had that problem. It could be that they're U.S. servers, and so some people who are like further away in the U.S. or like not even in the U.S. might have issues playing the game. Which I'm sure, like, if they get more and more people joining the game, they'll put more and more money into the servers, or maybe it's just their netcode and they need to fix that. Who knows? So that could be a little annoying sometimes, but it's not too bad. The only time that's kind of annoying is when I'm trying to fight like a crab or something that's a tank, and like I want to like hit it, and then I rubber band to the side, and I just hit an empty tile, so I wasted attack. But otherwise, it's not too bad. Uh, Going back to the crafting stuff, it's kind of a bit weird. I don't know how you guys feel about crafting. Like I do like the idea that you get books and you learn each piece how to craft it. The only thing that I don't like about it is that you have to learn how to like chop down a tree or like mine ore. Like you can't just buy the tool and just go willy nilly on it because that's what I did. Like I bought the tool. I was like, awesome. Now I can bind this stuff, so I could go buy books to learn how to craft this ore or whatever. And I ran over to the ore, and like I'm just swinging my axe, and nothing's happening. And I was like, what the hell? I had asked Trung. So you had to learn how to actually swing your axe. Apparently, I don't know. That's just weird to me. What do you guys think about that?
I don't hate it. I think it's fine. He has his place, I guess.
It's yeah, I think I mean I wish the game made it more apparent to like, hey, you need like I said, there's like lack of quest tracking or like importance being displayed. But it would be nice, like as soon as you leave the inn, it says like these NPCs will teach you,
Yeah,
crafting. Um, like go speak to them before you craft. Yes, you can hit M and you can see their little icon on the map. They are displayed, like the leather worker, the harvester, or whatever. Yeah, I think I wish they made it more apparent. And it's kind of like weird with I don't mind it at all, honestly, but like the systems, like you have your weapon system that kind of determine like you have no attributes.
yeah,
Your armor and your weapons determine what you're doing. So in that same like sense, like wouldn't it make sense to just pick up an axe or a scythe and like just go to town without having like a obstacle to
yeah,
unlock that skill tree sort of deal? Like if you're gonna do the same thing for weapons, pick up a tool and just go do your business.
yeah,
I don't see why it's different, but it's also not that big of a deal. There's just not a big enough importance labeled in the beginning of the game because I didn't do any
yeah.
crafting
I
until Trung was like, "I'm over here crafting
yeah, I had
everything."
no idea how to
you
do it
know?
because it wasn't very intuitive.
Yeah, like I was like, "What do you mean you're crafting?" Trung, coming in clutch.
Yeah, the crafting is nice though. Like, so you have to level up crafting to be able to buy new things to learn and to craft it. And you don't need to go to like a crafting bench or anything like that. You literally just pull up your crafting menu and then choose which branch of crafting you want to do, like leatherworking, and then choose the different items that like you've learned to click on and create right then and there. So it's nice, especially when your inventory is filled with all sorts of shit, and you can consolidate it into other useless shit. But it's nice. Um,
Yeah, you do all that work, like the breakdown, just to get one free
yeah, yeah,
space.
yeah. But hey, that one free space means the world. Um, so I mean that is nice. I will say one thing that like UI wise like kind of bothers me is that there's so different crafting levels will like give you more exp towards that crafting tree. So say let's take mining ore, right? And I can't remember exactly what the steps are, but like let's just assume like the first step is actually mining the ore and you get exp for that. And then the second step is creating uh, a bronze ore, and then the next step is excuse me, you create a copper ore, and the next step is bronze ore. I don't remember what the actual progression is, but let's just assume that, right? So like over time, as you level up, the mining, your first thing you learned loses, like you don't gain as much experience as you used to, and then you have to do like creating the copper ore to be able to actually gain more experience, and it'll show you that through colors. So like the white means like you're not going to get any XP from it or minimal, and then it's like green, and then the highest amount of EXP you could get from creating something is color coded as red, and to me, when I initially saw that, it was just like, okay, red means I can't do it. Why can't I do it? Because I
Yeah.
just bought it. Like, I don't get it. But like, I clicked craft and started crafting. I realized like, oh, this is like a higher level of crafting, which was a weird UI thing because most of the time, like, red
Dude,
means no.
I thought that's what it meant until you just
Yeah,
said that.
yeah,
Like I
exactly.
thought this whole time I was like, red means no.
Yeah, like so. There's some UI issues mixed in the game, which like kind of makes it you know counterintuitive, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that being
They probably should
said,
have made it purple instead of red.
yeah, something
Yeah.
something different. That being said, I do appreciate the game, right? Like I understand that it's in development, so it's got its kinks. like we just like spent like God knows how long
True.
shitting on this game, pointing out all the negatives. But like it's obviously going to have negatives because it's a early, they're building out a new game. Um, well, they've been building out this game, just a bunch of dudes, right? So like I could appreciate for what it's worth, and like compared to Manastoria or Eidolon, it's got a lot of things in it, especially again like, compared to Manastoria, where like it like ends pretty fast, where like you could grind out Manastoria in like a day, day or two. But like this game, like there's
Which
so
we did.
many
Yep.
quests, even if they're some of them are mindless. Like there's so many quests to bounce you around and do things that like for what it's worth and where it's at, I think they're doing a great job. They just got to keep improving.
For sure. Yeah, I will say they've got a good game in their hands. I just hope they double down their like efforts and their focus on being a browser-based
Yeah.
MMORPG. Um, it's cool. Yeah, you can play it on Android. Trung's actually going to talk about that next because he's the only one that played it handheld. But yeah, it's on Android. Yeah, it's on Steam. But it's like just focus on being that browser-based MMORPG. They're so niche right now. Like there's not a lot of I want to put emphasis on this playable, browser-based MMORPGs right now. So really double down, focus in that arena, and get the game done because a lot of your competition isn't they don't have completed games. So just fucking move in that direction. Be the first to get to the finish line where you can be like, okay, now we can roll out like, content updates, for free later on instead of just kind of like we're all stuck in this level 10 to 20 zone for, indefinitely. I think you've got something really good on your hands. But were you going to you were trying to say something, right, Alan?
No, no, you're spot on. Well, I
Cool.
do think that like the reason behind putting it on Android, putting it on Steam, is to get more attention to the game. Because like this is my assumption, but like it's probably easier to find the game on as an Android app or on Steam than it is to stumble upon a URL on the internet. You know, so I can understand
Yeah,
why
you're
they
right.
choose that, but you're absolutely right. Like it would be nice to see them like just focus their efforts in one direction and push through.
Yeah, let's hope that's what it is. Because you're definitely right on the like exposure aspect of that. Because Steam is always showcasing like free to play games. I mean, it's got categories like people can find games easier through Steam or
Yeah.
like even on the app. Under like there's not a lot of good mobile MMORPGs out there right now. So a lot of them are just like cash
Yep.
grabs. Um, but yeah, Trung, playing I mean, that was like your first taste of the game in mobile. Would you even consider going back through the Android app? Like, would you even play it
Um,
again?
the mobile app is fine, to be honest. But the reason why I would not go back is because of the weapon system. It was because of the combat system. Because the combat system requires you to, switch your weapons and actively keep attacking to attack faster. It is very, very hard to do that on mobile because you have to click the weapon at the bottom of your screen and then you have to click the monster and you keep doing that with multiple different weapons. Whereas on keyboard, you just press 1, 2, 3 and just keep left clicking, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Now you're like, I'm uninstalling this
yeah,
app.
like it is, that's just me because I like to min max my damage and that's not going to work on a mobile. The other issue I have
Yeah,
with mobile is it rubber bands like hell. Like, like it's pretty bad just on the browser sometimes, but it is very noticeable when you're on the phone. Well, so the app is functional. You can play it if you're just gonna play it like casually. Like I use it, when I'm just laying down, just crafting because crafting requires you to do nothing really.
thinking about
Yeah,
life.
just thinking about life and just sitting, laying down, crafting. So while the mobile game app is not bad, I'm sure they're gonna work on it. But as in the current condition, a mobile player will not do as much damage as anybody that's on the browser on Steam. There's absolutely no way, unless you're just like that
Okay.
fast with your fingers, I guess.
which I mean, who knows? Like the generation after, before us is probably, or not before, but after us is probably like fucking
Yeah, like I'm no
aliens with that
mobile
shit.
gamer. I'm a PC player, so
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's gonna be hard to play a game that's meant to be on PC, right? So,
yeah.
Is there anything else you want to touch on, Trung? Like outside of the mobile aspect of the game? Anything in particular for you?
I don't really hate much of anything about this game. It is very relaxed. Like we've already covered all this. It's very relaxing. I can play it by solo whenever I want. Crafting is very, very fun. I really like that you can just craft your class, like you can just specialize in your craft and you can take it all the way and level up with you as you level up, which is cool. There's kind of like a pause between level 10s to level 15 though. Like I have to find my own gear between levels 10 and 15 because you can't craft anything until you're 15. So that's kind of an issue, but yeah, there's not much really to add other than please add banks at like level 0 because I do not need to be level 21 to go put my stuff away.
Or, even here's a quick fix. Give us a room. Like everyone has this room, right? It's not like instance or anything, but when you spawn into the inn and you're like, oh, we're naked. What's up?
Yeah.
Have that room you spawn in just be like the player room, and there's a chest there, and everyone sees the chest. Everyone uses, it's like that's instance, like the actual, like, like a bank would be in game, right? Have a community chest in there that only you see what's inside of it, but everyone can see it on the map, and just do that. And then, you don't get the bank until you've proven your loyalty, right? Sure. But yeah, just give us a chest somewhere, man. Just allow us to store shit. Trung unloaded all these mats on me, and I have like at any given time I have like 6 slots open. I'm doomed.
It's the crafting life.
So yeah, it's the crafting thug life, dude. I can't. It's hard, but cool. Yeah. That's it, man. That's Stein World in a nutshell. We're gonna be keeping our eye out for more, browser-based MMORPGs out there. If anyone has suggestions, because we did not find Stein World on our own. Kabuto, shout out to you. Discord server community member. He's addicted to Eidolon right now, but he told us about Stein World. So if you have any suggestions of any games we should be, focusing on and trying out, or even playing with people, hit us up, contact us through the website, come to the Discord server, DM us, or even through our social media, which is linked into the episode description of this podcast. But yeah, that's Stein World, like I said before, and I don't know if we'll be doing any more content on it. We'll definitely be playing it with our friends in our Discord server. We've got a couple who are playing right now, and like Trung said, it's a cool game. Like we're kind of in limbo, waiting for people to get on. We'll be playing it, exploring more about it. But yeah, for all other things CouchCat related, head over to our website at www.couchcatgaming.com. Like I said before, all of our social media links are provided in the episode description of this podcast. Also, use our Greenman Gaming link if you're in the market for a new game and it's on Greenman Gaming. We get kickback every time you use the link. You don't need to use the link for a specific game, just to browse the website. It is greatly appreciated by all of us if you kindly do that. And to circle back, check out our YouTube channel. We just released a new video today of this recording on Phasmophobia. Trung does an awesome job. They're fun to watch. They're especially fun to sneak peek stream in the Discord channel, which we've been doing recently. And yeah, happy birthday to Trung again. Thanks for spending the evening of your birthday. Well, I mean, you live like really far away from us on the other coast, so it's kind of like time traveling for you. But to me, thanks for spending your evening with us to do this podcast.
Of course, it was fun. We'll do it again.
That's what I like to hear. That's why I have you in the studio, because you appreciate me.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Trung.
Oh, no.
Anyway, that's all I got. See you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.
Later, everybody.